Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. It's a pleasure having you on board as we journey through the pages of our Heritage Weekend edition. Coming up, the restoration of our coral reefs, plus welcoming Virgin Atlantic Airline back to the island, and more in our Western Roundup. Plus, Healthwise looks at improvements in the access to medication for seniors. Stay with us for these and more interesting features.
Whenever you hear the following tone, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, will be giving information on an emergency situation affecting the island. Please be on the alert and listen to your radio and television for further information. This was a test of the emergency alert system, brought to you by ODPEM.
Join us this Heroes Day, Monday, October 19 for the National Honors and Awards Ceremony 2020, the virtual presentation, beginning at 8:15 a.m. with a wreath-laying ceremony to our national heroes, live from the National Heroes Park. See our distinguished honorees in their splendor as we pay homage to them, mixed with tributes in song and dance by the National Dance Theatre Company, Cat Corps, Jermaine Edwards, and many more. That's the National Honors and Awards Ceremony, Heroes Day, Monday, October 19, beginning at 8:15 a.m.
In our Western Roundup segment this week, team member Nikita Sterling looks at the restoration of our coral reefs in Negril, plus welcoming Virgin Atlantic back to the island and establishment of a field hospital.
Hi. Today on Western Roundup, we take you on a quick journey by boat to Negril, where we're looking at one of the largest efforts in Western Jamaica to restore our coral reefs. Then by a plane to the Sangster International Airport, where we welcome Virgin Atlantic back to the island. And finally, we travel by car to Falmouth, where ground was broken for a field hospital. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
As part of efforts to restore the reef systems in Negril, Westmoreland and its surrounding areas, some 150 pieces of corals have been planted onto the reef of the Orange Bay Fish Sanctuary. The 4-year project, which is aimed at restoring the biodiversity and hydrology of the Negril Great Morass, is an ongoing initiative.
We thought this was apt as the Coral Nursery. They are doing activities to conserve reef species, specifically the Acropora palmata and the Acropora cervicorni, to try endangered species, 2 endangered coral species. So what they do, they have a coral nursery where coral fragments are grown until they reach a certain size. Then they are refragmented and placed on the reef to rebuild that reef area, so we can restore biodiversity, bring back the natural functions of the reef, which is as a buffer for waves and a fish habitat, and also to protect the coastline from erosion.
The exercise forms part of the Integrating Water, Land and Ecosystems Management in Caribbean Small Island Developing States (IEECO) project and was spearheaded by the National Environment Planning Agency NEPA in partnership with the Negril Area Environmental Protection Trust (NEPT). Back in St. James, tourism interests and stakeholders were pleased to welcome Virgin Atlantic from London, England back into the island. The flight was suspended earlier this year due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Today we welcomed Virgin Atlantic. They resumed their flight operations today with 2 flights per week on Fridays and Tuesdays. And we are very happy to have Virgin resuming these operations. They're one of the main carriers out of the United Kingdom market.
We are extremely elated to have Virgin Atlantic back on island. I know that this global pandemic has created a lot of financial strain. So we're elated that Virgin Atlantic, they have developed some trust in our protocols. It is timely because the Minister of Tourism and Director of Tourism, they have been working tirelessly to try and rebuild our destination.
The aircraft carried some 192 passengers and 10 crew members on its first flight back to the Sangster International Airport. Over in Trelawney, business interests and stakeholders are giving the wave of approval for the establishment of the field hospital to be built in response to the treatment and hospitalization of COVID-19 patients.
As usual, it gives me great pleasure to witness any positive development in the historic parish of Trelawney. The building of this field hospital is a welcome addition to the infrastructure of the Falmouth Hospital. Despite the circumstances which has led to the necessity of this structure, I know that when this pandemic is over, the building will continue to be a valuable asset to the parish.
We are happy that we could accommodate. On behalf of the Trelawney Municipal Corporation, I want to assure you that we will do everything that is in our powers, working with the other agencies, to make sure that the earliest approval date is settled so that this project can continue in this epidemic that we are going through.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton recently broke ground for the 36-bed facility, which will be housed on the compound of the Falmouth Public General Hospital.
And that's all for the journey today. We hope you enjoyed it. As usual, thanks for watching Western Roundup, where we take you from the corners of St. Elizabeth to the hilly terrains of St. Anne. Walk good.
Senior citizens are being encouraged to stay home and only venture out when necessary. That is, to conduct the essentials of life, such as doctor's visits, shopping for food and medication, etc., etc. In support of that, government through the National Health Fund is providing some convenient services for seniors to access their medication hassle-free. Take a look.
Senior citizens in the cohort 60 years and older represent the fastest growing demographic segment of the society, as more people are living longer. This changing dynamic has prompted the government to ensure improvements in the level of responsiveness to new expectations and needs of our seniors. The need for quality healthcare is top of the list. One aspect of quality healthcare service is the prompt access to affordable medication. So the Ministry of Health and Wellness, through the National Health Fund (NHF), has been leading the government's charge in providing critical supplies of medication at subsidized costs to persons in need. That includes seniors. The NHF has been improving its service by employing ingenious means of delivering medication and reducing waiting times and overcrowding at prescription outlets.
We are using a number of services in order to make it easier for our customers. We have the Prescript mobile app. We have a drop-off and pick-up service. We have scheduled refill for persons who come to the pharmacy frequently with the same medication. And we have a number of other initiatives in which we contact clients to work out easy ways for them to receive their medication.
A home delivery service for drug-served patients 65 years and older is the NHF's latest addition to its offerings. This emerged as a response to the coronavirus pandemic.
As most people know, the NHF is a customer-centric organization, and with COVID-19 we actually looked at different ways of better serving our customers. Medication delivery is an idea that we have had under active discussion for a number of years, and we found that this was an opportune time to implement this service.
This new service is available to drug-served patients on the NHF's scheduled refill program, who have monthly appointments to pick up their medication at a drug-serve pharmacy.
So for these patients, we give them 2 months supply of medications, basically. And the feedback is just excellent. It's really great. But when you look at how grateful they are, because some of them they can't walk, some of them they're disabled in terms of hearing and so on. So when you can come to them to actually give them their medications, it's really heart-touching, basically. So that they're very grateful. They say it all the time, and they are loving the service as it is now.
This was started in St. Thomas, and we've expanded into Kingston and St. Andrew, as well as in St. Catherine. And other parishes have now started, St. James and other parishes. And the intent is to have this program island-wide.
The NHF's home delivery service is set to benefit approximately 30,000 beneficiaries over 65 years of age, as well as other vulnerable groups that the fund believes can benefit from medication delivery.
We just received a call, asked if we would want it to be delivered, and we readily accepted it. The wait can be very long. I know they try to cut back sometimes by using the schedule thing, but even then you have to go, and sometimes they wait up to an hour. So this is just ideal.
Patients may want to check out the NHF's online avenues such as web chat to indicate their need for delivery service. Persons can text their name and their drug-serve pharmacy to 876-219-9937 or 876-219-9929. They can also call the NHF at 876-906-1106 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. weekdays.
I take the opportunity to commend our pharmacists, our pharmacy technicians, and all the team who facilitated this.
This is a good service, man. Let me say, you must stay at home. And this service that you come and present, a wonderful service.
We are loving the service. We really appreciate it, and we wish it would continue.
Customers need not worry about having a National Health Fund NHF card or a Jamaica Drug for the Elderly JADEP card. The service will still be offered.
But at this time, when we come and realize that, oh, probably you don't have a card, what we can do is give you the steps as to how to get the cards. And in order to access the cards, it's a same-day printing at any of our drug serve locations that are named for that service.
The NHF, reaching out, helping to make Jamaica the place of choice to live in good health.
As we mark Heritage Week, we continue to pay tribute to the 6 men and 1 woman conferred with the Order of National Hero. Today it's time to celebrate the contributions of one of the men hailed as the fathers of independent Jamaica, Norman Washington Manley.
The national flag flies proudly beside the childhood home of the right excellent Norman Washington Manley, symbolizing his status as a national hero and his contribution to Jamaica's journey to nationhood. His involvement in the country's campaign to independence was rooted in his resentment of the lack of rights for the poor working class.
He was a man who devoted much of his life to looking after what we call the underdog. That was one of the things which drove him relentlessly as a political leader.
And his advocacy, which had begun years earlier, took on a more defined role when he rose to lead the newly formed People's National Party in 1938. As a statesman, Manley refused to be satisfied with the universal adult suffrage in 1944. He had bigger dreams, among them to see Jamaica take full control of its own affairs. So he became deeply involved in the move to develop a new constitution and the fight for full independence from Britain.
He tried to get a constitution that would reflect both the aspirations of the Jamaican people, but would also allow for that system to operate in a harmonious way that would ensure the full participation of the citizenry consistent with a parliamentary democracy.
As leader of the People's National Party, he got his first taste of victory in 1955 when Jamaicans went to the polls.
It was a vindication of all that he had campaigned for. He regarded it as a mandate to put in place programs that would result in the social transformation and the economic growth of Jamaica.
The national hero and chief minister left an extensive legacy. In addition to his role in obtaining universal adult suffrage in 1944, N.W. Manley also founded the National Workers' Union in 1952. 2 years later, in 1954, he led efforts to secure executive powers for elected representatives. It was also under Norman Manley's leadership that Jamaica achieved full internal self-government in 1959, a precursor to political independence that would come 3 years later. With Manley at the helm, the government established the Bank of Jamaica, the Development Bank of Jamaica, and the College of Arts, Science and Technology CAST, now the University of Technology.
And among the indelible contributions which he has made to the entire Jamaican society was the granting of 2,000 free places in secondary schools during the 1950s.
His legacy also includes the Small Business Loan Board, the Jamaica Welfare Limited, now called the Social Development Commission, the Foundation of Youth Service, and the success in securing land tenure for farmers. Manley's dedicated service to Jamaica earned him the Order of National Hero, the highest award to be bestowed on a citizen. Norman Washington Manley led a busy and public life in service to his country. We know he was an athlete, soldier, and brilliant lawyer, but those who knew him admired him for other reasons. Undoubtedly, Norman Washington Manley was devoted to excellence, the fulfillment of purpose, and the promotion of human dignity.
He gave us a confidence in ourselves, a belief that there was nothing that Jamaicans could not achieve, no level of performance beyond their grasp.
Revered as the father of the nation, Manley was an inspiring leader who touched the lives of Jamaicans home and abroad, making an indelible mark internationally and in the region. In his final speech in 1969, he asserted that the mission of his generation was to accomplish political power for the black masses of the people from which he sprang. Mission accomplished, he declared. And having accomplished his mission, Norman Washington Manley died on September 2, 1969.
The JIS Heritage Competition is celebrating 10 years of youth expression on Jamaican history, culture, and tradition. If you're a primary level student 9 to 12 years old, enter the essay competition. Write 400 to 500 words on the topic. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace. Identify a Jamaican from our past or an institution that exemplifies this statement from our national pledge and say why. Secondary level students, enter the poster competition. And tertiary students, send us your best snap for the photo competition. The topic, I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace. Enter now and play your part in preserving our national heritage. Great prizes to be won. Competition closes October 24. For competition rules and guidelines, contact the JIS.
The drum is an integral aspect of Jamaica's history, and the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission has been unearthing and nurturing talents as it seeks to preserve this aspect of our heritage. We now take a look back at its 2019 staging of the Drum Festival competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Drumfest 2019.
We are here for Drumfest. This is the premier section for drummers. It's equivalent to the national finals just for drummers. We wanted to improve the standard as well as get more persons involved in drumming and to see, the part it plays in our culture. So we had that Drumfest separated, and once it started, there was no turning back because it caters to a different audience than national finals for instrumentalists and vocalists. Each year it's getting larger and larger. We have a total of 42 competitors. 42 competitors in terms of schools, but of course for the ensemble presentations you can have up to 14 persons in a group. We are talking about mostly our young people. We're talking about primary schools, prep schools, high schools, community groups all over Jamaica. We even have semi-professionals who enter the competition. We have some teachers of drums who also group up and enter. We have congas, we have djembes, we also have even the trap sets. We have all types of drums, African drums, Jamaican drums, and we have the auxiliary instruments that we use as well, maracas, we have cowbells. Check our history. From as far back as you can think, our African heritage and drumming. You say drum, you equate that to Africa. So we find that our students naturally, Jamaican students naturally gravitate towards drumming. They play syncopated rhythms just casually. They don't even realize how technical it is, and they don't understand really that what they are doing is not as easy as they think.
We basically come here to just motivate the kids and let them know that good drummers are here that they can learn from and they can actually have a career from this. Most people might not know, or most people might think that you can't have a career from our kind of music, which is hand drumming, but that is not so. Because if you take a look at, for instance, Chronics and Kabaka Pyramid, they have two percussionists on their band.
For me, it's just a way to express how I feel. You know, when you come home from, or when you leave school in the afternoon, you go drum rehearsal, feel good about yourself, release out of stress, and just a way to express yourself creatively and stuff. We've been to a lot of embassies with RD drummers. I really like it because I get to go places and meet a lot of people that are very important. Different experiences, they go all over Jamaica. It's just fun. It's a whole lot, it's a brotherhood because I'm not the only girl. Well, not really the only girl, but there are not a lot of girls. I play djembe, but if we're doing Jamaica rhythms, we play Jamaican drums like congas and stuff.
I also teach it in Ensom City Primary School, and the whole school want to join. Everyone put their hand in the air. Sir, me can play now. Look here, me can play now. Like, that's great, you know, motivating and encouraging for us.
I like music and I want to do it in my career. I like that the sounds of the rhythm them and the type of songs I play with the rhythm.
It's nice to play, it encourages me and everybody else and feel the vibes and everything.
We would really want to make it bigger and better. We would want to have better prizes to give to the performers. They have worked really, really hard. And yes, we know they will be getting, trophies at the end, but we have others who are also excellent that we would want to give incentives and so on. So I see the competition going there.
Motorists, when driving on the road, here are some simple reminders. Look out for and extend courtesy to all road users. Give plenty of room to pedestrians, especially in wet weather. Drive slowly. No bother wet them up. Slow down when approaching a pedestrian crossing or school, and always be prepared to stop. Remember, a school zone is a 30-kilometer zone. Cut your speed. Drivers of large and slow-moving vehicles should always keep in the far left hand of a dual carriageway. Keep it simple. Drive left and pass right. These are just simple reminders of your road duties. Drive safely.
Join us this Heroes Day, Monday, October 19 for the National Honors and Awards Ceremony 2020, the virtual presentation, beginning at 8:15 a.m. with a wreath-laying ceremony to our national heroes, live from the National Heroes Park. See our distinguished honorees in their splendor as we pay homage to them, mixed with tributes in song and dance by the National Dance Theatre Company, Cat Corps, Jermaine Edwards, and many more. That's the National Honors and Awards Ceremony, Heroes Day, Monday, October 19, beginning at 8:15 a.m.
We've come to the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, but be sure to join us again tomorrow for another show. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website, jis.gov.jm, or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Walk good and stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.